Every one of us has felt it, that ache in your chest that no doctor can diagnose. The heaviness that sits on your heart when you're smiling in front of others, but dying on the inside. Maybe it was the betrayal of someone you trusted, the loss of someone you loved, or the silent war you've been fighting in your own mind for years. Emotional pain is invisible, but it is real. And if you don't learn how to handle it, it will handle you. But what if I told you this pain, this weight you've been carrying, isn't here to break you? What if it's here to build you? What if buried underneath that pain is the strongest, most unstoppable version of you? Today, I'm going to walk you through not just how to survive emotional pain, but how to use it, to grow from it, to rise because of it. Stay with me until the end, and I promise you this: you will never look at your pain the same way again. And more importantly, it will never control you again. You can't change what you're not willing to face. And I know sometimes the pain cuts so deep, you don't even want to look at it. You bury it. You smile through it. You stay busy, distracted, numbed out with food, work, scrolling, anything to avoid sitting still with it. But here's the truth. What you suppress today controls you tomorrow. Emotional pain doesn't vanish just because you ignore it. It festers. It shows up in your relationships, your health, your energy, your decisions. It whispers lies like you're not enough or you'll never feel better until one day you actually believe them. But the moment you stop running and say, I'm hurting, that's when your healing begins. Not when you fix it, and not when everything is perfect. When you acknowledge it, when you allow yourself to feel it without judgment, that's strength. That's courage. Denial isn't strength. Suppression isn't mastery. Real strength is staring your pain in the face and saying, you don't scare me anymore. See, pain has a purpose, but you can only find that purpose if you're willing to be honest with yourself. Too many people walk around wearing masks, playing roles, pretending everything's fine when it's not. And the danger of that, you become disconnected from yourself, from others. You become numb to the very emotions that make you human. You lose your fire. I'm not here to tell you to wallow in your pain. I'm here to tell you, let it speak. Because if you listen closely, it's trying to tell you something. Maybe it's pointing out something you've outgrown. Maybe it's a sign you've been ignoring your own needs. Maybe it's reminding you of what really matters. But you can't hear that message if you're too busy pretending it's not there. A lot of people think if they admit they're hurting, it means they're weak. No. You know what weakness is? Letting your pain define your future. Strength is saying, yes, I'm in pain, and I'm still standing. That's power. That's ownership. That's the first step to freedom. You want transformation? Start by being real. You want to change your story? First, tell the truth about the chapter you're in right now. Because when you're finally honest about where you are, you unlock the possibility of where you can go. And I promise you, there is somewhere greater to go. But it starts here, in this moment, with this choice. Stop running. Feel it. Face it. Because you cannot conquer what you will not confront. You can't heal what you refuse to feel. There's a moment in every person's life when they have to make a decision. Am I going to be a victim of this pain, or am I going to rise and become something greater because of it? And let me tell you something. Pain will visit all of us. No one's immune. But how long it stays and how much power it has over you, that's up to you. That's your decision. I get it. When something or someone breaks your heart, when life hits you in a way you didn't see coming, it's easy to feel powerless. Like you're at the mercy of circumstances. Like the world is against you. But that story, why did this happen to me? That story will trap you. It keeps you locked in a cycle of blame, resentment, and helplessness. And as long as you live inside that story, you hand over your power to whatever hurt you. But the moment you shift the question from why did this happen to me to what can I do with this, you flip the script. You take the pen back. You become the author again. That's when the transformation starts. That's when the pain begins to lose its grip. Listen, you don't get stronger by avoiding life. You get stronger by standing in the fire and refusing to be consumed by it. And it's not about pretending the pain didn't happen. It's about refusing to let it become your identity. You were hurt, yes. You were betrayed, yes. You were disappointed, left behind, misunderstood. Whatever it was, yes. But you are not those moments. You are not your suffering. You are what you decide to become after it. Do you want to take your power back? Stop looking for someone to blame and start looking for what you can build. Pain is raw energy. And energy, when it's channeled, becomes strength, clarity, wisdom. But you've got to own it. You've got to say, I choose this pain, but I do choose how I respond to it. I choose who I become because of it. Do you know how many people live their entire lives stuck in a moment that broke them years ago, not because they couldn't move on, but because they never made the decision to rise? They never made the shift from being at the mercy of life to being the creator of their life. And you can't wait for someone else to give you permission. That moment, that shift, that power, it's in you right now. You can either let the pain break your spirit, or you can let it build your destiny. That's your choice. Always has been, always will be. Life is not happening to you, it's happening for you. Have you ever noticed how pain, when left unchecked, tends to replay itself in your mind like a broken record? You wake up thinking about what hurt you yesterday, and by the time you go to sleep, it's still on repeat. That pattern, the constant cycling through the same thoughts, feelings, and stories, is what keeps you trapped. The good news, patterns can be interrupted, and when you interrupt them, you take back control. See, emotional pain has a way of hooking you because it becomes familiar. It's uncomfortable, sure, but it's what your mind knows. So even when it's painful, your brain clings to it like a safety net, as twisted as that sounds. But you don't have to stay stuck in that loop. You have the power to change what you focus on, to change your state, to change the very chemistry of your brain. When you find yourself caught in a cycle of pain, those thoughts that tell you, I'm not good enough, I'll never heal, or this is going to ruin me, you have a choice. You can listen to them and let them take you deeper, or you can interrupt the pattern. You can interrupt the story, you can interrupt the emotion. How? It's simple, but not always easy. You can start by changing your physiology. Get up, move your body, breathe deeply, shake it out. Your body and mind are connected. Change one and the other follows. When you move, when you breathe with intention, you send a signal to your brain that says, this moment is safe. I'm here, I'm present. And that interrupts the pain loop. Then you can change your focus. Replace that painful thought with a powerful question. What can I learn from this? How can I grow? What's one small step I can take right now? Questions create new pathways in your brain. They invite possibility instead of despair. Another way to break the cycle is with language. The words you use matter. When your inner dialogue is full of, I can't, I'm broken, or this will never get better, you reinforce the pain. But when you say, I'm learning, I'm growing, or this is temporary, you give yourself space to heal. Sometimes interrupting the pattern means changing your environment or who you spend time with. Surround yourself with people who lift you up, who challenge you to be better, not those who drag you back into the pain. Change your environment in small ways. Go outside, find light, find movement. Small shifts can lead to big breakthroughs. You don't have to wait for the pain to vanish to feel peace. You can create moments of peace inside the pain by changing your state, your focus, your story. And every time you interrupt that pattern, You weaken the pain's hold on you. The moment you decide to break the cycle, you start reclaiming your life. You start transforming pain from a prison into a catalyst for growth. What you repeat, you reinforce. What you interrupt, you transform. Pain without purpose is suffering, and suffering without meaning keeps you trapped in a cycle of despair. But here's the truth that most people miss. Every painful experience carries a lesson, a message, a hidden gift waiting to be discovered. The challenge is that most of us don't want to look for it. We want to get rid of the pain as quickly as possible, to push it aside and move on. But if you do that, you miss the opportunity for real transformation. Imagine this. What if the very thing that broke you is also the thing that can make you? What if your wounds, those moments of heartbreak, loss, disappointment, could become the foundation for your greatest strength? You don't have to like the pain. You don't have to enjoy the suffering. But you do have to be willing to ask a powerful question. What is this trying to teach me? When you shift from asking, why me, to asking, what can I learn here, you begin to find meaning. And meaning changes everything. Meaning transforms pain from something random and cruel into something purposeful and valuable. It becomes fuel for your growth, a roadmap for your next step. You see, growth never happens in comfort zones. Growth happens in the mess. It happens in the struggle. It happens when you are willing to face the hard truth that life isn't always fair and sometimes it hurts. But if you can hold space for that truth without giving up, without losing hope, you create the conditions for your next level of power. Think about the people you admire, the ones who inspire you. Almost every one of them has a story of pain and struggle. They didn't escape it. They leaned into it. They found meaning in their suffering and used it as a springboard to greatness. Their pain became their purpose. And here's the thing, meaning is not something someone else gives you. You create it. You decide what this pain means in your life. You decide if it will be a setback or a set-up. And you decide how you will carry it forward. So instead of running from your pain, sit with it, feel it fully, then ask, what is this trying to show me? How can I grow from this? What strength can I build? Because every time you ask those questions, you move from being a victim to becoming a student of your own life. That is where transformation lives, in the lessons you learn, the wisdom you gain, and the new perspective you create. Turn your wounds into wisdom. We all carry stories. Stories about who we are, what happened to us, and why we are the way we are. These stories shape our identity, our beliefs, and our actions. But here's the catch. Those stories aren't the truth. They're just interpretations, perspectives we've chosen or been given. And some of those stories keep us stuck, chained to the past, unable to move forward. When emotional pain hits, it often comes wrapped in a story. Maybe it's the story of betrayal. I can't trust anyone again. Or the story of failure. I'm not good enough. Or the story of loss. I'll never be happy without that person. These stories feel real because we've told them over and over. They become a filter through which we see the world. But if the story is toxic, if it's rooted in pain, it becomes a prison. The power to change your life lies in your ability to rewrite those stories, to look at the narrative you've been living by and ask, is this story serving me? Is it helping me grow, or is it holding me back? The stories that hold you back, let them go. They are not your identity. They are not your destiny. Releasing the story isn't about denying what happened or pretending the pain never existed. It's about freeing yourself from the meaning you've attached to it. You can acknowledge the hurt, but refuse to carry the blame, the shame, the fear. You can recognize that the past shaped you, but it does not have to define you. Think about it this way. Your mind is a storyteller, always creating meaning, always trying to make sense of the chaos. But sometimes it creates narratives based on fear, scarcity, and limitation. Those narratives become self-fulfilling prophecies. They keep you trapped in the same patterns, repeating the same mistakes, attracting the same disappointments. The key is to become the author of your own story, to take back control of the narrative. This requires courage, it requires awareness, it requires a willingness to see your story from a new angle, to rewrite it with new meaning. Instead of, I was abandoned, you can say, I survived abandonment, and I am learning to trust again. Instead of, I failed and I'm broken, you can say, I failed, I learned, and now I'm stronger. This is not just mental gymnastics. It's a shift in identity. When you change your story, you change your beliefs, your emotions, and ultimately your actions. You create a new future that is no longer dictated by the pain of the past. You don't have to live in the shadow of your story. You can choose to live in the light of who you are becoming. The past is a place of reference, not residence. It's a chapter, not the whole book. You get to decide what story you want to tell next. And that story can be one of strength, resilience, and hope. Your story is yours to rewrite. When you're caught in the grip of emotional pain, it can feel like you're stuck in quicksand, each struggle pulling you deeper, each thought dragging you down. And in those moments, the future looks blurry, distant, maybe even impossible to reach. But here's what I want you to understand. Pain is temporary, but vision, clear, compelling vision, is what pulls you out. Without a vision, without something bigger than the pain itself, it's easy to get swallowed by the moment. But when you have a why, a reason to push through, your how becomes unstoppable. You need a vision that lights you up, that ignites something inside you so powerful it drowns out the noise of your suffering. This vision doesn't have to be grand or complicated, it just has to matter to you. It has to be so compelling that you can see it, feel it, almost taste it. When your vision is clear, your mind starts working for you, not against you. You find resources you didn't know you had. You attract people, ideas, opportunities aligned with that vision. It becomes your North Star, guiding every step you take. The beauty of vision is that it creates momentum. When pain threatens to paralyze you, your vision gives you a reason to move. When doubt creeps in, your vision reminds you why you started. When fear whispers that you can't, your vision shouts back that you must. Because here's the secret, the pain alone is never enough to get you through. It's the purpose beyond the pain that fuels your resilience. Think about the most inspiring people you know. What kept them going through their darkest moments? Not just willpower, not just grit. It was a vision, a burning desire for something better, something more. It's what pulled them through when their body, their mind wanted to give up. And you have that same capacity inside you. You may not feel it right now, but it's there. A spark waiting to ignite. Your job is to find that vision, to create it, to hold it so tightly that no matter how heavy the pain, you keep walking toward it. It might be a future where you are whole again, where you love yourself fully. It might be a dream you've shelved for too long, a purpose you've been too afraid to chase. Whatever it is, make it so compelling that it makes the pain worth it. Because when the why is clear, the how shows up. When your vision is strong, the steps forward become inevitable. You don't have to stay stuck in the pain. You don't have to let it define you. You can create a new story, one filled with hope, purpose, and passion. But it starts with your vision. So get clear, get focused, and start moving. The pain may have been your teacher, but your vision will be your guide. When you have a vision bigger than your pain, nothing can stop you.